I wanted to hop on and showcase a live walkthrough using Claude's new browser extension and show you guys a use case that I saw someone do on TikTok that I wanted to see if I could build myself. And I wanted to do all this in real time, show you guys how I'm thinking about building Claude browser automations, and then to get your guys' brains hopefully turning on some more really unique use cases for the Claude browser extension. I have a little bit of content on it so far on YouTube, on X, but not a whole lot. And so I wanted this video to just kind of be me diving into it, showing you a use case that I built an automation for. We'll see what we come up with, but none of this was planned. It's just an idea I had. You guys are going to get to watch me work on this in real time. So first things first, if you have not already downloaded the Claude browser extension, super self-explanatory. You have to be using the Chrome browser. As long as you have Chrome downloaded, then you can download it. It takes about 5 seconds, not long. And then you just log into your Claude account. So as you can see, I have the Boring Marketer's Twitter page pulled up. I also have the Claude browser extension pulled up on the side. So the use case I want to build here, and I'm curious to find out if this works, but I saw a TikTok about someone talking about how they more or less automate their social listening. And before Claude browser extension, obviously this is something you can do with Appify. I actually do that right now for one of my clients. We scrape X every single day to try to find relevant posts, and also just as a marketing input so that they know what their customers are talking about on X. However, it takes up a lot of Appify credits. It's more than $1 a day per run. So very, very expensive relatively. But it seems like the Claude browser extension could maybe do some of that scraping without any of the Appify credits. And it's just using up your Claude credits. And the best part is that you can actually schedule these workflows to run. So you build this workflow once and you can schedule it to run every single morning, which is what I'm going to do for this. So I have the Boring Marketer's X page pulled up because I really want to, the workflow I want to build is I want it every morning to go and look at some AI kind of gurus and influencers that I follow and learn most of my AI stuff from. Obviously the Boring Marketer is the #1 guy I learn almost everything from James, but I also want to kind of stay tuned with Greg Eisenberg's content. I want to stay tuned with another influencer, Riley Brown, his content. And then I also want to kind of find out what is going on in the school community every single day. And I want to automate this. So Claude uses the browser extension to go and look at recent posts from James, from Greg, from other influencers in my list, and then also go and look at the school community to see what have people been talking about over the last 24 hours, 48 hours, what are maybe some questions people are having, and just what is trending right now. And then I want all of that to be delivered as an email to my inbox every morning so I can read it as sort of an executive summary of here's what everyone's talking about. Here is where you should maybe dive in, things you should start to explore a little bit, and AI tools maybe that you should start to familiarize yourself with. The AI space is very, very fast moving, as we all know. This is more or less a way for me to every morning find out, what's hot right now, what are some of my main influencers doing, and where does that fit into what I'm doing as a marketing and AI automation agency owner. So let's get into the build. First things first is I'm just going to tell Claude exactly what I just told all of you. I want to build a daily workflow that I can schedule with the Claude browser extension, and I want it to go and look at a list of X accounts. I want it to look at recent posts. I want it to look at the comments of those posts to see what people are talking about, pain points they're expressing, trending or emerging AI trends that they're noticing. And then once you've gone through and looked at all the X accounts, I want you to also go and look at this school community I'm in. I'll provide the link for you to go and look at that. And with all this information, I want you to then generate me a email that you send to my inbox every morning at 6 a.m. That is essentially an executive summary of here's what people are talking about right now. Here are maybe tools that you should look into. Here is content ideas you can make, anything that you think might be useful. I want that to all be included in the email. And then I'm using Whisperflow for the voice to text. I've done this in some of my previous videos, but super, super useful. All I do is hold down on the FN key on my Mac. I just talk, and once I'm done, I let go, and voila, it gives me speech to text in the matter of seconds. I'm going to give this a quick proofread too real quick, making some really quick tweaks. And then something I always find useful, whether I'm building a skill in Claude Code or really anytime I'm talking with AI and I want it to give me an output, is I tell it to ask any questions before we actually proceed, so that way it is on the same page as me. Be sure to ask me any questions you have to make sure we're on the same page. All right, so like that, we just sent it the prompt. Let's see what it gives us back. So here are some of the clarifying questions that it has. Let's take a look at this. All right, X accounts. I need to give it the X account list. I think I'm going to have it run every 24 hours since it's going to be looking at this every 24 hours. And so more or less look at the previous days content and what was talked about. Here is a list of the X accounts and the URLs. So I know there are plenty of other AI influencers. These are kind of the main voices I listen to, but if you have any other recommendations, people I should add to this workflow, I'd love to hear those thoughts in the comments below. All right, now for the scope of analysis, for recent posts, should I look at the last 24 hours? For recent posts, look at the last 24 hours, however many posts that is per account. If someone only posted one post in the last 24 hours, only look at that one post. If they posted 20 posts in the last 24 hours, look at all of those posts. As far as going deep into the comments, look at the top level comments. Make sure to scroll a little bit, but you don't need to look at all of the hundreds of comments that I'm sure there are going to be on some of the posts. I mean, I'm sure I could have it do that, and that'd probably work out really, really well. However, I'm curious to see how fast this will go through my Claude usage. All right, now for the email format and timing, do 6 a.m. Eastern time. These are all things I can go back and change later, but this is kind of what I'm thinking prematurely. For the school community, look at all discussions and filter it by new. That way you're only getting new posts. For specific AI trends or pain points I'm interested in, I am mostly interested in how you can use AI for marketing use cases. Let's really focus on AI for marketing. For content ideas, make them pretty surface level. Just give me suggestions of maybe a new tool I should look into, a new feature that I should look into. Make it more so as like the starting point for exploration of a new tool feature. Because honestly, that's what I want the main point of this workflow to be, is an opportunity for me to learn about these tools and really just know what I should spend time learning about. As much good information as there is out there, there's a bunch of noise and it's really hard to sift through. So I'm hoping the AI can do a pretty solid job. This should run every single day, 7 days a week. Do it 365 days a year, no matter the day of the week. All right, that does it for all of the questions. So I'm gonna give Claude all that information and we'll see what it comes up with next. Okay, it already actually generated me a plan. So it's already messing with the browser, which is pretty cool. It's gonna visit each of the 3 X accounts, collect all posts from the last 24 hours. It's going to read top level comments and navigate to the school community. Perfect. Analyze all the data. Generate a 5-minute concise executive summary email and configure the email to be sent to my email at 6 a.m. Eastern time daily, every single day of the year. All right, I just approved of the plan, so let's see what it comes up with. All right, never mind. It has a quick technical question. All right, so it now has a new revised plan. It's going to log into the Gmail account, visit the 3 X accounts, collect all the posts, read the comments, look in the school, kind of see what's going on there, and then draft it, and then send it with the Gmail. So let's see what it comes up with. I just approved the plan. All right, it just opened up a new tab as well. So it's going to, it's going to my email account. We'll see what it comes up with here. All right, so we're about a minute and a half in. Right now, it's just been setting up the Gmail page, and then it's starting to scrape those X pages I talked about. And I think what it's doing is it's gonna first do this manually in front of me, and then I have to go in and approve it and schedule it as a daily task, which shouldn't be too bad as long as it gives me the output that I want, and it's based off all this real data. All right, it's now moved on to Riley Brown, so it's just gonna do the same exact thing. Look at recent posts, look at the comment section, and then take screenshots of it so it can analyze all of the data and what people are talking about. And something I'm not exploring in this video, but that I've seen a lot of people make content about already, is how you can use the Chrome extension from Claude Code, which I think is gonna be really useful if, say, you were vibe coding an app and you wanted to test the website in real time. I think that'll be really useful. And then also as well for like front end design of a website, I think that using the Chrome extension to go and look at the website in real time could be another extremely interesting use case, using the Chrome extension out of the terminal. But I definitely want to explore that in the future, so I'll keep you guys updated on what I learn. I just haven't seen many applicable use cases yet that I think is worth my time to explore. If you guys have found interesting use cases, I'm all ears. All right, back to the workflow. It looks like it already looked at all the X influencers I identified, and then it already looked at the school, and it says right here it's composing a new email message. So we'll see what it comes up with. So going to the Gmail tab, I can see that it already put in the email to send it to, and it already gave the subject line. It looks like it's now composing the actual email message. So I assume it's just been holding on to this data the entire time, probably looking back at like the screenshots it took, but I'm really curious to see what the output of this looks like, because I really didn't give it too many parameters for it to go by. It has completed the workflow, so let's see what we got. It's researched, gathered intelligence, it analyzed posts from all 3 target accounts. It also reviewed discussions in the Vibe Marketer school community, which is exactly what I wanted it to, and it drafted my daily email template, which we'll go look at in a second, which includes key conversations and trends, tools to explore, content ideas, quick wins, and then a smart closing, and designed to be all read in 5 minutes. And I guess that it's going to use this draft template as a template for future emails so it can reference it every single time it runs this as a task. So here we go. Here's what the AI and marketing community is talking about today. AI-powered skills development, shifting from just automating tasks to making AI systems think like experts. So obviously we talked a lot about skills. James and Greg Eisenberg both have been talking a lot about that. So I know that's pretty accurate. There's also, I guess, an emerging trend of how, there's a real opportunity not just replacing workers, making everyone 10 times better at their jobs, which is something I've seen a couple tweets about, but that's cool that it picked it up as well. Talking about how Claude Code is evolving rapidly, and then emerging pain points is RAG systems for marketing training docs. There's lead magnets and landing page conversions and AI video for ads. Those are also pain points. I'm guessing this is referring to the school community, so maybe a change I can make is talk about where it actually got this from, what source it came from. That'd be really helpful for me. Now, tools to explore. Claude Code, the Vibe Code app builder. Have not heard of that before. MCPs, anti-gravity, which I've actually seen a lot about. I've not tried myself, so maybe this is going to finally be the push I needed to go and give it a try. And then N8N templates, with AI SEO audits generating. So I think that also comes from the school community. I definitely want to add maybe a source component to this email, see what it gave me for content ideas. But overall, so far, really satisfied. I could do a tutorial building Claude Code skills that think like experts. Those are all really solid content ideas. Quick wins that it's noticing is people are shipping pre-order landing pages, X algorithms working well. I know that's from a James X post. So, and then what stands out? The conversation has now moved past AI automation to AI augmentation for expertise. Your audience wants frameworks, not just tools. Stay ahead, Claude. I love that. I see this more so as something that's a bit more cost effective than, like I said, running an Appify scraper. You could obviously go and build this in N8N with Appify. You could pull in all the raw data. It would definitely take a lot less time than this. But I think the power of this lies in not only is it saving you tokens and usage from having to use an external tool like Appify, which I'm sure is incredibly powerful, and I've already used it in a lot of very powerful ways. But I think also just doing this on demand. So say that you want to automate going to look at all this and fetch all this information, and you need it only one time. It's not really worth building an N8N workflow for, but you want to just go fetch all that information in real time. I think the Claude Code browser extension is perfect for that. You can just tell it, like I did, what to go do. And in the span of about 20 minutes, it does it, as opposed to taking 2 hours, 3 hours, 5 hours to build an N8N workflow that you then have to troubleshoot. You don't even know is going to work in the first run. So I think that is where a lot of this power of the browser automation lies. Okay, back to the browser and what it says for next steps to set up the automation. It's telling me I have a couple different options here to run it at 6 a.m. It recommends I use the extension task scheduler. And it looks like that if I do this, it's going to go back to the conversation. It's going to run the workflow every day, generate the email, and send it from the Gmail draft template. So option A is definitely what I'm going to go with here. And then to fine tune the workflow, it has a few more questions for me. This is where I'm going to tell it that I would like sources and whatnot. I won't bore you guys with answering all these questions because that's probably going to be another 15 minutes or so before I get this really dialed in. But I'll come back to you guys after I've dialed it in to show you guys how I schedule it as a task. All right, so I went ahead and made those updates to the email template. It even talks about the channel of the school community that it came from. And then it's super scannable. All of those changes, it's already made. All right, so it's now walking me through how to set this up as a browser extension task so it can actually run this on a daily basis. Step 1, it looks like I need to convert this conversation to a task. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and follow those directions, click the 3 dots, convert to task. I guess it's converting right now. All right, so pulled up this new Chrome page. Looks like I'm in Claude, and it's letting me name this shortcut. All right, I honestly like the name it came up with, the Daily Marketing AI Insights email, so we're going to leave it at that. And it looks like also if I ever want to add a source or delete a source, I can go ahead and do that in the prompt. All right, and then you can even see how detailed the directions are for going through the school community. It talks about how you need to click through all the available channels, filter each channel by new, read new post titles and summaries, all of that, which is very specific that it discovered on its own. I did not tell it really any of that other than just go look at the school community and see what's new. Step 3, analyze and create email content, draft the email, update it with today's date. Here is the template that it gave, and then critical requirements. Every statement must have source attribution, focus only on AI for marketing use cases, which is what I asked it to go back and change. Keep it scannable and readable. Use divider lines, date it with the actual date, and then send the email. And it looks like it already even set it up to schedule it on a daily basis to run at 6 a.m. It's going to use Haiku 4.5, and let's go ahead and click Create Shortcut. All right, Shortcut was added, and it's now going to run daily at 6 a.m. So it looks like it's totally finished. So that is a live look at me exploring Claude's new browser extension and building what I think is a pretty cool use case for it. Like I said, I'll be really curious to see how it all works out credit usage wise, if it's actually a lot cheaper than using Appify, and then just making sure that it's continuing to give me accurate information so that I find the email useful. And the great thing is, as I already showed you guys, if there are sources I want to go back and add, I can add that. And I'm open to recommendations. So if there are other AI influencers you guys follow outside of the community, let me know, and I would love to add that to this workflow. And if you want to build and schedule this task yourself, I've attached the exact prompt that I used in a Google Doc. I attached that in the comments of the YouTube video. Obviously, you might want to edit it for your specific use case, but if that's something you might find useful, is there for you to use. Obviously, the browser extension is still very new, but I think 2026 is going to be a very exciting year for this tool, and cannot wait to see other use cases that you guys come up with. Happy vibes, and we'll see you guys next time.